Hey guys, I've gotten a lot of requests to update my support tier list. We've had a couple patches come and go. Introduction of Talaria boots, they're getting nerfed a bit. Sylvanas getting nerfed, a lot of tiny buffs and nerfs coming around. So I've been having a lot of requests to do this. So I'm drinking my pre-workout and let's go through this list together. I've set it all up basically. If they're on this list, then they are potentially viable to be played in the support role. That means this is not strictly Guardians, not strictly Warriors. There might even be some that don't even make it into the list because they're not even viable as a support. But these are all characters that I played as a support. Realistically, I've played everybody as a support. But these are the ones that are viable in a casual ranked sense. And then the top tier, of course, is what you'd be picking in like a competitive scene, right? So, starting off with the list, you can see the only S+ support left in the game is Athena. Why is that? Athena hasn't gotten nerfed at all. She hasn't changed a bit. Everybody else has pretty much gotten hit a little bit due to this, that, and the other, specifically Sylvanas. So Sylvanas isn't necessarily going to be that top tier anymore. Now this is hard to tell. I have not practiced. I don't know if the PTS is up yet. It could be. I have not practiced with the new Sylvanas nerf. For those who don't know, his auto attacks no longer make the minions bop, right? So they don't go blah, and so they still have their attacks going the whole time. Their attack animations don't get interrupted. They don't get knocked back and grouped up together. So Sylvanas is hitting the whole wave. It is going to hurt his lane clear. I think he'll have some characters that might be able to outpush him, but he's still going to be incredibly strong doing Sylvanas stuff, right? So Sylvanas is all about the mid game, and his mid game has not changed at all. But Athena top tier, her clear is good, her crowd control is the best in the game. That taunt is the best crowd control in the game for a Guardian. It's a regular skill. It's not an ultimate. It's not like Sylvanas ult, but it's a regular skill on a 15-second cooldown or something. Like, it's ridiculous. Her 3 has like 500 plus base damage with 100% scaling. Her ultimate does like 700 base damage with crazy scaling, plus the fact that it takes you around the entire map, plus it does the damage reduction on the person that you're on. Amazing skill. She's the best. Athena is the best. She has been for a while. She's continuing to be the best. Sylvanas, still going to be a top pick support. His clear is still going to be really good with purple buff. They didn't change the fact that he has AoE auto attacks. He's still going to have fantastic clear compared to almost every support except for like Ymir. Ymir is going to be able to outclear Sylvanas now. Maybe Guan Yu, Athena if they get to the wave early. You know, it's going to depend on who your ADC is and like how early you get to the wave comparatively to the other lane, which is going to be dependent on the mid player and getting how fast they clear the red buff. You know, there's a lot of factors that come into this. But in a completely even situation, Sylvanas still has strong clear. Geb has not been changed in terms of the fact that he's awesome, right? His shield will keep him relevant until the end of time unless they remove his shield or they take away functionality of the shield, something or another. He has a knock-up in his kit that does a lot of base damage. That's amazing. And his ultimate's a giant stun, which is percentage damage. Whole kit on Geb is amazing. Plus his passive is arguably the best support passive in the game, or at least the most like supporty support passive besides maybe Kabrakan. But Geb's is way more useful. The fact that crits only do plus 25% damage on him, especially now that ADCs do crit builds again, comparatively to the end of last season when they were doing like the big gross build. That's nasty. Bacchus is super strong right now. He doesn't even have to go Talaria boots. Now that Talaria boots are getting nerfed, I think Bacchus is going to be that guy. So Bacchus was the one character that you got power boots on, right? Because you need the mana. He does a ton of damage. You get the power boots, which is like 60, 65 power, 250 mana, the movement speed, whatever. And it's awesome. They work great on Bacchus. I'm still thinking about getting them on Bacchus now that they're nerfing Talaria boots. I've been getting Talaria boots on everybody because they're so strong right now. But you can go back and you can get those boots on Bacchus. His initiation is one of the best in the game. His belly flop is the only regular skill in contention, in my opinion, with Athena's taunt for initiation, right? Athena taunt, boom, you got multiple people. Belly flop, if you belly flop 2 people, especially if one of them's like the mage or the ADC, they can take so much damage before they even have a chance to get out of that. Because you can't beads out of a bop. You just get bopped and you get pooped on. Guan Yu. Guan Yu's up here for a couple reasons. One, he's one of the better endgame supports because his heal is amazing. When he gets cooldown, he can heal a whole lot. He slows a whole lot. He has built-in penetration shred. His ultimate is great at initiating. It's great at stealing objectives. It's great at doing damage early. It closes a lot of gaps. Fantastic. He has a great kit synergy. He works well with other healers. A Guan Yu plus a Ra is a lot of healing. It forces the enemy to get weakening curses. He does a lot for the team. He has strong lane clear. He has strong presence. He has a lot of options in his build. Bluestone Pendant, Watcher's Gift, Talaria, attack boots. He has a lot of things that he can do. He can mix up a lot of stuff. He brings a lot to the table. Sobek is very strong, but he doesn't quite bring like the same amount of oomph that these other guys bring. I hate sneezing. He doesn't quite bring the same amount of oomph that some of these other guys bring. His lane presence is strong. The big thing about Sobek is the pluck is so strong, but it's also, even when you use it correctly, right? You pluck their mage, you're also putting yourself in an awful position because of the nature of the pluck, even if you hit it, which means if you miss it, you're really out of position. So it's one of those characters that has high risk, high reward. Ultimate does a lot of damage. It does a lot of slow. The fact that it gives back mana is awesome. He's not the best at securing objectives. The best thing he can do to secure an objective is pluck the support away. If you use your tail whip, it actually takes you longer to get out of the tail whip animation than it does for their support to walk back and hog. So there's no point to use it. And then, of course, your ultimate you can try to do, but it can be hard to time that. Ymir, Ares, Fenrir, Sun Wukong, Hercules. These characters are all characters that are pretty much even along the lines of balanced, right? So everything above that point was characters that you're pretty much seeing in every game because they're the strongest. These are your even characters that are really balanced. They can get really far ahead, and they're all kind of the same concept, right? So you see that up here we have these very supports. We have taunts and flops and shields and heals. As you start to go a little bit down the list, it becomes less of a support and more of a second jungle, third carry, that kind of stuff, right? So Ymir has great initiation with Blink and his freeze. He has very, very strong damage, arguably the strongest damage out of anybody, maybe besides Ares at level 3, but probably actually more than Ares. You throw down Carpet and your auto attacks do 100% plus damage. You clear the jungle really fast, which means you get to the lane really fast, which means you typically get the lane control. So you're probably going to have lane control early, which is very strong. Strong character. But you can get ganked really easy. You have no getaway skill. That's also a common theme you're going to see among these characters. Ares, no getaway skill. No getaway skill. Hercules as a support, I mean, you're not that tanky yet, so pretty much no getaway skill, right? Up here, everybody has a getaway except for Sylvanas, but he has a heal. Ares. Ares is a strong character. He thrives with Talaria boots because he chains multiple people. He flame waves everybody. He ultis everybody. The problem is he has 0 lane clear. Zilch. Nada. None. His lane clear is awful. But if you can get out of the lane somehow without getting destroyed, your mid game is so strong. You combine Ares with the Hunbats, Ares blinks in, you ulti, you chain a bunch of people, they all pop their beads, that means the Hunbats comes in and goes, I'm a Hunbats, and everybody is stuck in his ultimate. He has amazing wombo combo opportunities. Fenrir. Fenrir is a character that people don't think about as a support, but he is a very strong support. But you play him so much differently than other supports. You get 5 stacks, you jump in, hit the archers, hit one of their people, you stun them, you brutalize them. You do it over and over and over again. You grab your potions, you go in, you go hard, and you try to kill somebody. Level 3, Fenrir has a massive, massive power spike with tier 2 brutalize. Jump in, brutalize somebody. Some characters that he does very well against, namely Shibalanke. Shibalanke is a top pick right now, right? He's very strong. Fenrir Brutalize does not cancel with the Shibalanke dash, which means if you brutalize him, he gets brutalized no matter what, even if he uses a getaway skill. Very strong character. Sun Wukong, pretty nice lane clear with Cudgel. He's extremely safe. So many getaways. A slow. He can use the knockup. He can use bird form. He has his ultimate. He has a lot of poke, which works well with Talaria boots. Strong character. His biggest weakness is he has no initiation. If you run Sun Wukong, you have to have initiation elsewhere. Throw in an Odin jungle, a Hercules solo, a Tyr solo, whatever. You need your initiation from a different source. Isis middle, Spirit Ball can be initiation, Freya whoop. There's a lot of opportunities, but he cannot be your initiation. Hercules. I actually have Hercules on this list specifically because of Trix Tank. So for those of you who don't know who Trix Tank is, which you should, Trix Tank is the support for Trig and arguably the best Hercules in the world as far as supports go. Honestly, not arguably. He is the best Hercules in the world. 100% win ratio with his Hercules support in competitive play. The guy's a beast. I don't get it. I can't play Hercules like he does. He's a way better Herc than me. We banned it out against him because we were scared against it, honestly, in the tournament. I don't know why it's so good, but it is. And if you want to play Hercules and if you love the god and you love support, figure it out, dude. Watch some Trix Tank videos because apparently it's the thing to be. Kumbhakarna, we're getting below the point of where now we're getting to characters that are not so balanced. They're like, they need something, or their kits are like inherently not so strong for support, but like you can play them there to kind of tinker with it and see what's happening. Kumbhakarna brings so much crowd control to the table, which ends up honestly being his downfall. He really ruins DR. So for those who don't know what that means, you mez somebody, and if they get stunned after that, that stun duration is going to be lesser because they were just mezzed. So instead of it being a 2-second taunt, now it's like a 1.2 second taunt, or whatever the DR is. I don't know the exact percentages, and it keeps getting worse. That's the problem with Kumbhakarna. He ruins other people's CCs, and he doesn't have any hard CC except for his ultimate, which is good, but like, it's not enough to make up for some of the other stuff. He is a very tanky character, and the passive allows you to bait a lot of stuff. His Mez, having the attack speed slow, is very strong, but he's just not like I wouldn't pick him, you know, before Athena, right? Getting down into these characters where you're probably only playing these in casuals, maybe in a super situational rank game, or if you kind of just feel like trolling or like carrying your team, like, I'm just going to carry you. Tyr and Thor, both work as support. I've done them before. They're snowbally. If you get behind early, you're out. If you get ahead early, you have basically a third carry on your team or a second jungler. It can work out fairly strong. Tyr does not work against anybody with hard CC, does not work against Ymir, does not work against Athena, whatever. But if you don't have any of those on your team, you just power cleave the wave or whatever, and you can clear pretty strong. Thor, you just throw your hammer, you rank up your hammer first, and you actually clear fairly strong comparatively to other supports. Chalk and Odin, you pick these two characters if you want a ton of lane clear and pretty good objective control. Chalk Silence is arguably one of the best things in the game for objective control. You ulti, you get in there, you hit their support. The support doesn't have beads. They're silent for 3 seconds. They can't hog. You get the objective for free. Same kind of concept with Odin, except for you're at the objective first. You throw down your Odin ring. Their support can't get in unless they have blink. Nezha, Osiris, Bellona, Aphrodite. These 4 characters, so let's talk about specifically Nezha and Osiris. Those are kind of similar. Super aggressive. Did you hit your Nezha bounce? Did you hit your Osiris too? Are you harassing a lot? You're probably going to bully him out of the lane, but then you don't really have a tanky character for your support, so you need to have like a tank in the jungle, tank in the solo, or whatever. Aphrodite has a really okay laning phase as long as it's not a kill comp. Like, you can't run her against Anher or Ymir because you'll just die. But like, if they have a passive lane, her clear is not bad. Her mid game sucks as a support, but her end game is awesome. So if you can make it to the end game on Aphro, you're actually looking pretty strong. She's an amazing end game support. It's just, she just gets bullied, man. You just get bullied at your butt. Bellona, strictly on the list just because she's so strong, period. You can put her anywhere, man. It doesn't matter. She's still going to do all right. And at the bottom of our list here, you're going to see... Get out of here. Stop looking at me. What the? Go away. What? No, stop it. Anyway, at the bottom of our list, we have Cabrakan and Hades. You can play him in the support role. You can put him in other roles. Hades works pretty good in the solo lane. Cabrakan doesn't really work anywhere. Don't put Hades in support. He has to be super far ahead in order to do anything. Don't put Cabrakan anywhere. He's ugly. I'm kidding. I love Cabrakan. Buff Cabrakan forever. Even with the new buffs coming in, I don't see Cabrakan being viable. He's just not strong enough. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the tier list. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with anything here. This is what I'm feeling like is going to be strong right now. As new patches come in, I'll try to keep this list updated as much as I can. I love you guys. Please subscribe if you like the content. And as always, have a twitching day, y'all.